Anna Fox is a woman who previously worked as a child psychologist, living alone in Manhattan brownstone after she separated from her husband named Edward. In the end, she had to be separated from their daughter named Olivia. Although they are no longer a complete family, but Anna still often talks to them by phone every day. That day on Monday morning, Anna got a call from Olivia and Edward. They chatted as usual, and Anna told him about the new neighbors across the street, namely the Russell family who were moving that day. As a sufferer of agoraphobia, Anna had not been out of her house for a long time. Her activities were mostly just watching her neighbors from the window of her house on the second floor. She knew a lot about the activities in her neighborhood thanks to the observations Anna made almost all day. Her psychiatrist and colleague named Carl was visiting Anna to check on the state and progress of her condition. That morning Carl concluded that Anna's depressive condition had decreased, seeing how enthusiastic Anna was to find out about the condition of her neighborhood lately. But still, she needed to be closely monitored because she was taking a lot of drugs for her condition. Anna also had a problem with alcohol during this time. For 10 months, Carl had been trying to persuade Anna to move out of the house and try to stop her drinking, which was having a bad effect on Anna's mental state. The problem was, Anna didn't trust Carl in the process of recovering from the condition. Anna confided this to Edward, who was also getting tired of persuading Anna to leave the house and fight her fears. Anna always refuses to interact with new people. But that night, in the rain, there was suddenly a knock on her door. She saw on the CCTV screen that it was the boy from the Russell family. At first Anna didn't want to meet him, but somehow, she changed her mind quickly and opened the door for Ethan, the name of the boy from the Russell family. Ethan's arrival is a form of hospitality from his family to the neighbors. He gave a parcel that his mother had left for Anna. Ethan was let in. This was the first time in a long time that Anna had let a stranger into her home. Anna and Ethan talked a lot about their respective families. When Ethan looked at his house, which was clearly visible from Anna's window, there was a change in his face after Ethan saw his father. His eyes seemed to glaze over and his body stiffened. Anna, who basically has a field of work in child psychology, noticed the change. She also touched Ethan's shoulder and made him a little surprised. Ethan immediately normalized his facial expression and changed the subject. Anna also tried to make the boy comfortable around her. It seemed that Anna began to sympathize with Ethan. As time passed, the two became closer in a short time. Anna even let Ethan borrow her DVD collection to watch at home. Ethan's presence seemed to give Anna a new progress of her mental state. A fairly good progress. Anna was able to laugh that night after Ethan came home, although she still did her drunken habits that had not yet stopped. The next day, David, who rented the basement in Anna's house, came to inform her that he was going to Brooklyn for a few days. He was one of the people who often talked to and met Anna. Usually he came to help Anna clean up the garbage in her house. Indeed, it seemed that Anna was still keeping her distance from David. She doesn't really trust the man and is still a bit stiff when communicating with him. She rejected David's suggestion that offered to prepare candy in front of the house, because that day was the day of Halloween. Anna seemed to have no intention of being bothered by kids. She said she would pretend not to be at home. In the night, Anna, who was sleeping in her house, suddenly heard a sound from the direction of her door. Children were throwing eggs at her house. Anna panicked and tried to stop them with her voice. But the situation didn't stop, forcing Anna to go outside. The problem was, her agoraphobia made Anna end up fainting as soon as she opened the door. Luckily, a blonde woman came over and helped Anna re-enter the house. When she came to, Anna found Jane Russell already in front of her. It was her new neighbor who helped her shoo away the children and bring her inside. Anna told Jane about her fear to go outside. Jane listened sympathetically. She turned out to be a very friendly and cheerful woman. This trait made Anna quickly befriend Jane. They talked about the children. But there was something Jane seemed to be hiding about her family. About her husband and son, Ethan. Anna didn't want to force her to talk further, when Jane suddenly changed the subject by showing Anna her drawings. That night, the two of them really enjoyed chatting until late. Anna watched Jane go home. It wasn't long before Alistair Russell arrived to ask if any of his members had come to meet that night. But Anna lied and said no one had come. Alistair looked doubtful, but he soon excused himself because he didn't seem to want to disturb Anna. It's just that before Alistair actually left, Anna briefly left a thank you note for Jane for the candle gift. And explained that Ethan had sent it last night. Alistair left the house afterward, and as the night went on Anna fell asleep drunk again. She woke up on Wednesday morning to the sound of her cat and some suspicious noises downstairs. Anna called the police because she thought an intruder had broken into the house. But she found David in her kitchen, looking for a tool to open the board. Anna felt a little relieved that it was David. She gave David the tool he was looking for. Later that day, David offered to clean up the moss on Anna's roof. But it turned out that the roof was already too fragile. So Anna immediately told David to come down because she might have to call an expert to fix it. Anna later found out that David was hired by the Russell family to help with their move, which wasn't actually finished yet. That same day, at night, Anna, who was taking a shower, suddenly heard a very loud scream for help from the Russell residence. She thought something was going on with Jane or maybe Ethan, so she called their house. Ethan answered the call. His voice sounded panicked and scared. The boy gave no explanation when Anna asked what was going on at his house. But not long after, Jane came out of the house with a panicked face and gestures. Anna was curious. She asked David if he heard the screams. But David said he didn't hear anything because he was listening to music in his room. Anna took out her camera and saw what was happening at Ethan's house. A few minutes later, Ethan arrived. He looked very agitated and seemed to have been crying. Ethan hinted that his father had been abusive. And this made Anna feel even more sorry for the boy. Anna hugged Ethan to calm him down. Then Anna gave him a phone number. Anna also allowed Ethan to come anytime to get protection from her. The next day on Thursday, as Anna watched David leave the basement he lived in while calling Carl, she confided her suspicions about her new neighbor. That day, Anna continued to be under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Her behavior was erratic. It was like being on the verge of consciousness. The problem was that on the same night, Anna suddenly lost her cell phone. She thought she forgot to put it away. And while she was focused on searching, Anna accidentally looked into the window of Russell's house. Jane was killed using a knife. The incident suddenly made Anna panic to death. She tried to call the police. The problem was before she could explain, Jane reappeared at the window with covered in blood. The situation forced Anna to get out of her house. She tried hard to reach Jane's house by covering her view with an umbrella. Unlucky for Anna, who did not make it to the other side, because she collapsed while on the way.